Oh, hey. Heard you wanted to talk about the Great Depression.
Well, for me, the action is the juice. I'm in.
Alright, so this is a little out of order because I didn't realize I should have been recording this whole time until I realized I should have been recording this whole time. The other things that we needed to talk about were the panics. And the reason why we have this up there is everything kind of flows. Alright, so during the panic of 1873, 93, and 1907, we all have this thing in common, but the government does nothing to solve it. The idea is panics the economy, it's cyclical, it'll take care of itself. So, towards the end of Reconstruction, the Panic of 1873 happens when railroads start going out of business and the French stock market crashes. As we know, we trade with other countries, so if something bad happens over there, it affects us over here. This starts leading to people losing their jobs, but panics are cyclical. We don't do anything. By the end of the 1870s, we fix all those problems. We're all good. Panic of 1893 happens in the Gilded Age, Cleveland, and he was in power. It's not really his fault. This was the one where they kept going back and forth, where Republicans in 1880, Democrats in 1884, Republicans in 1888, Democrats in 1892. It kept flipping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it leads to the economy collapsing because you can't build anything consistent with that, along with railroad failures and an over-reliance on gold, not enough silver in the economy is hurting a lot of people. Then in 1907, we start having banks losing their money, the stock market starts dropping off, but we have rich dudes who don't want their businesses to go out of business, so they invest back into the banks and the stock market to keep the stock market from completely crashing, which stopped the panic of 1907, but our governments did nothing. That starts leading to the need for things like the Federal Reserve Act and the government to become more progressive in protecting us and our interests in the economy during this time period. Okay, so the government protects the banks, right?
Yeah.
What else is happening? What else is the government doing during the progressive era?
Regulating businesses.
Okay.
Helping unions.
Now, Omer, I'm going to add to this. All right, regulating through breaking up trust busting. And we did that with the Sherman Antitrust Act.
What's the claim one?
That just made this stronger. It's the same thing. What did you say, Breezy?
Like, for teaching work, so like devs, TR.
I thought someone said something about labor unions.
I said that. That's
Okay. Ew.
Did you have the school striking it? For the labor union?
Yes, but that's not going to help with what we're doing with this.
Okay.
All right, and we will put TR, Debs, Taft, and Wilson. All right, so this is cool, but the government's doing stuff. When the government does stuff, what happens?
Taxes go.
Taxes go up. But who are they high for?
Poor people.
Wrong. Progressive, baby.
Oh, this is
hi.
Oh, for
How doers.
like right now. Why?
All right, taxes are at an all-time high for the rich people. These are the progressives. They're doing stuff. Things are getting better. Hence the idea of
Progressive.
Wasn't this also like, what are those people called? The one that wanted like clean environment and then joined the Democrats?
Conservation.
No. The nice ones that were like, oh, people shouldn't work more than 8 hours a day.
That's labor union people.
Progressive
But what were
Party.
they called? They had a party.
Progressive Party.
No, it's our no. Yes, Populist Party.
That's during the Gilded Age. So this ain't that.
Okay.
All right. So all this happens with the Progressive Era. Things get better. Things are good, but things are expensive, and things are expensive for specifically.
Rich.
And do the rich people like spending a bunch of money that doesn't affect them? That doesn't help them? No. So they.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, 1920.
Wait, did we just go? Mm,
Rich Republicans take over. Name some.
Name some of the rich Republicans.
I don't know what that is.
girl.
So these are like the robber baron type people.
No, I'm talking about the word you just said.
Laissez-faire?
That's a vocab term.
I know. We
It's
have that
a
here
curse
too.
word.
Isn't that when
Ooh,
the
I
government, they
should
wanted the government to stay out of businesses?
Yes.
Does
They
he?
wanted
Does
the
he?
government to stay out of business.
Brother.
That was literally on the test.
On what?
On a test.
Yeah, and I gave you that answer, so if you looked at the test, you would know the
I
answer.
did, and I always forget.
Okay, we don't need this level of sass on the video I'm recording right now, Kylie.
And economics,
Okay, economy.
Yes.
economy.
Is this where they started like the whole Reaganomics type thing?
Sort of. That really, like, the trickle down thing that's purely in the 80s.
Dog.
How's my big?
Yeah, no, I'm the one running around with the Chick-fil-A, right.
Power.
I haven't followed.
Oh, I actually should make that try.
Damn, it looks so bust. Oh my god, I want Chick-fil-A. Kylie,
Maybe you guys should.
I mean, what?
Should send.
you've been asking if you want Chick-fil-A, Kylie. Gee.
All right, so our rich Republicans take over. These are our robber baron types, the Rockefellers and JP Morgans. They take over. Not literally, they don't get elected to office. So what do?
They take over the people in office.
They take over the people in office through bribery, good old patronage, which we got rid of, but did we?
Yeah.
Not really, right? They take over and they push laissez-faire policies, meaning that the government and the economy or economic policies are separate from each other. The government should not get involved in business. Let the government govern, let the business. Taxes for the rich go down, which is good for the rich people, but those taxes for the rich helped our labor unions stay in power, helped things get better in the workplace, helped wages go up. We're getting rid of all of those cool progressive things. We're not protecting the environment anymore. Things like that are happening. We have all kinds of cool technological upgrades during this time period. All right, do you guys remember what some of them were? This was definitely in your Great Depression notes.
Mass marketing.
Okay, mass marketing is one.
Oh, like the, okay,
Automobile.
the credit thing.
Mass marketing, credit, cars.
Dang.
Car.
Hold on.
And I'm just going to give you farm equipment gets way better.
Oh, like tractors and plows and whatnot.
Okay. So now we're getting to it. This.
Not too big.
Oh.
We had the stock market crash, which was gross. It was terrible. It was bad. 75% of the country lost all of their money. 50% of the country lost their jobs. Banks go out of business. The bank runs start, which was tough on its own. And if we pair that with the Dust Bowl, where we're no longer able to grow food, and like, Christina, as you're eating the Chick-fil-A back there, how important is food for all of us? Really important. We need to eat. So if you don't eat, you die. And we don't want to die, as we all know. So, this is really tough for us. Dare I say it's very depressing. Hoover, like all of our politicians during the past panics, what does he do?
Nothing.
Why?
Because it's sick.
Panics are cyclical. Except, we've never had this and this happen simultaneously. Yes, fart noise indeed. These two things compound and make everything way worse than they were. Right? It's like, imagine being so ridiculously hungry and also your foot's on fire.
Oh my god.
And you don't have any money. No
Oh
McDonald's
my
because you don't
God.
have any money.
So big bag.
You're Mick out of luck.
Oh my god, shut up.
So, shh, that's crazy talk. We're editing this out of the video. That's ridiculous.
Y'all like me.
Like, I understand you're on the debate team, so you need to come up with arguments for the sake of coming up with arguments, but that is just, I think that was unconstitutional.
I think they microwave their chicken.
I don't care. Extra mayo, shredded lettuce.
Is the lettuce? Come on.
I actually get those taken off.
You just
You're
like
lying.
bun and chicken?
Wrong, I add ketchup to it.
I hate people like this.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That way, it's all made fresh and not sitting there for however many hours that it sits there.
I don't care. It's so
Yeah, I
bad.
don't care. But
You know,
shit, fries and
Talk-
Dr.
we're
Pepper.
talking
And
about chicken sandwiches from the
We've talked about my whole anti-lettuce thing, right?
No.
Oh, lettuce is worse. It's crunchy water. It has no nutritional value. It does nothing for your body. You shouldn't have it. And every time someone gets sick and there's like an outbreak from E. coli, it's because of lettuce.
What?
Yes.
So you're hating on lettuce right now?
Yeah, I'm anti-lettuce.
You don't eat a bunch of lettuce because
No.
it makes them full.
But you can eat lettuce. You can eat like spinach or like kale.
Yeah, that's not lettuce.
But she has to eat salad.
Sometimes, but very rarely. Why would I eat what my food eats? Now let us continue.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that a pun?
Yeah, that was a fun.
I hate puns. You did it.
FDR takes over. Omer. What super important time period coincides with him taking over?
His first 100 days.
The first 100 days, baby.
That usually sucks, but it's great. What's
I
that?
just said it wasn't a vocab term.
It definitely is. You're ridiculous. It was on the test. How is it not a vocab term?
It was on the test. I love that word.
It's almost like I specifically gave you that test just so you could put that answer in. What are some things that he passes?
Hey.
CCC.
TBA.
You're right.
Social Security. What by? If there's anything on the AAA,
That's one thing I don't
What's the
I feel
AA
that
stand
helped
for?
farmers.
you ate.
Just like we all did after we helped out the farmers.
Okay.
It's okay. If I don't, though. There's another retake.
Oh yeah, you can do it again.
Exactly.
They have AICE retakes.
What?
You know
Have?
what's
If I
Nothing.
can pass your retakes, if they feel
free?
pushed at this point, let me study over the summer, come here tutoring for a little bit. I got that for retakes.
But why are we focused on that now when you haven't even failed the first time
I'm
yet?
terrified.
I put
Use the fear. Focus. No.
You don't bet money on it.
You have to just sit here and
I literally have money on it. If you pass, I get an extra $50.
I know, probably.
But it's like for each of us, I have an extra $50.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds low key kind of cash out.
That's where you're gonna let me burn my phone.
No, I'm not going to do that.
That's why he's gonna get tattoos on his other arm. Full of notes. Of your dry sandwich.
It was so good.
Okay. You want? Sure.
Not if you're not gonna appreciate it.
No, I will.
She won't appreciate it. They should know.
Dog. No appreciation because no one appreciates you.
I think I'll
What did I do?
Why?
for one. The kid worked at 4, so she's.
Who's
You didn't even
that
want me to
guy?
go with you.
All
I
right.
want food.
So,
Your big bag. No, shut up.
Hoover does nothing. Now, is this 100% true? I gave you guys the 2 things that he did. Oh, and I should also include.
Oh, the emergency relief fund?
Yes. Let's put that
Was
under.
he the one who did the Glass-Steagall Act? Was that FDR?
That was during FDR's presidency. I did leave this off, which also made everything worse, and I apologize. All right, the Smoot-Hawley tariff, which we talked about when we went over the test. The Smoot-Hawley tariff, taxes go up. Couldn't buy stuff from other countries. What does every other country in the world do? They make their own tariff and they cut us off from global trade, and then we're not able to buy anything. And if like no one's buying or selling, is anyone making money?
No.
And then that leads to a bunch of people getting even poorer than before, which is bad. FDR, however, gets rid of this tariff, starts creating more global trade. FDR, during his first 100 days, Omer, starts cranking out 15 different ideas and bills that help address the super duper poor people. The 4 most important ones that we highlight were the AAA, the Agricultural Adjustment Act, which helped out farmers, made sure that farmers didn't lose all their money, because if we don't have farmers, we don't have food. And if we don't have food, we die, and we do not want to die. The CCC, Shekinah's favorite thing, we get a bunch of people jobs, specifically 18 to 25-year-olds. We are getting them employed. We are helping to save the environment. We are making things better. We're planting trees. We're putting out fires. And planting trees, we talked about this on this day, weeks ago. This helps this.
It does indeed.
All right, if we don't have trees, the CCC helped address the Dust Bowl directly. If we don't have trees, there's nothing holding the soil together. Because as you guys know, the tree isn't all of the tree. There's the roots holding the ground together. If we cut down too many trees, nothing's holding the soil together. When it rains, it leads to mudslides, and mudslides are super destructive. The trees not only help us like breathe air and provide an ecosystem and all that, like lead to life. It holds the soil together. It replenishes the soil with nutrients, which allows us to grow more food. NERA, yeah, it stops child labor, which is good. The National Industrial Relief Act. This was good, but this is not the most important thing. We don't really care about child labor. Not particularly. As far as solving the problems of the Great Depression, no. Should we force kids to work? Absolutely not. But if kids are no longer allowed to work in factories, who got fired from their factory jobs? Those kids. Meaning there's all kinds of jobs open for adults. And you have to pay adults more than you have to pay kids. Because like, what are kids going to do about it? Cry to their mom. Or dad.
So CCC was for this, but what did AAA do for
Farmers across.
NERA was labor unions and the children, and then TIPA was the valley.
The Tennessee Valley. This was also like we're building dams, we're planting trees, we're helping out farmers. This also, the TVA, Christina, addresses the Dust Bowl. In the middle of the country where we grew a bunch of food, it's too dry. So we're making the Tennessee Valley more fertile by rearranging the water and creating dams and creating more arable land, which is good. So the government, as we see, these are 4 examples of the government creating jobs. Jobs are good when you're unemployed.
Yeah.
What?
Keep talking.
Things start getting better, and FDR's like, all right, we did it. Let's start scaling things back. And then things got bad again. So he came up with the second New Deal. And things from the test we highlight there. The Works Progress Authority, 2.1 million jobs. Social Security Act, we're taking care of old people, poor people who can't work anymore. The Wagner Act, not the Wagner Act. The Wagner Act, where we're empowering labor unions again. They lost power during the 1920s. Now they're fighting for pay. Who has the problem with everything FDR's doing?
Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court. And what happens to them? They lose, baby.
Court packing.
We win. The court packing thing never actually happened, but that was a way to address it.